Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be your host, Sound, and today I am excited to bring a replay cast from Week 4 of NGS. We're going to be seeing a Division E matchup of Habitual Line Steppers going up against Dragon Gall Z in a best-of-3 series. I don't know the outcome, though the games have already been played, so if you know them, please don't spoil them. And let's give a little background on these teams before we get into the games. Dragon Gall Z formed up back in Season 14 as Gall and the Chocolate Factory. They are part of the Gall network of teams, including Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers and Gall's Angels. On the other side of the battleground, they'll be facing off against Habitual Line Steppers, which was formed up by No More Heroes as their captain. Interestingly enough, No More Heroes played on Dragon Gall Z just last season in Season 16, so perhaps a bit of a friendly rivalry between these two teams. Who's to say? I assume that people left on good terms and just wanted to start their own team. Let's take a look at our battleground draft before we get into Game 1 to see where we definitely won't be going. Looks like we've got bans on Cursed Hollow and Alterac Pass for the Habitual Line Steppers, and Dragon Gall Z banned out Dragonshire and Volskaya Foundry. So Braxis Holdout still an option for these two teams. We'll see if they end up going there, though it is an unpopular battleground for NGS. And of course, for Game 1, we're starting on Infernal Shrines. It is a favored pick across all divisions in our fair league, so not too surprising to see that one in our first selection. Let me just load up the replay file here, make sure that teams are on the correct side of the battleground. It looks like they are. Excellent. And we can get into game number 1. Introducing our teams, here on the left, we've got Habitual Line Steppers. No More Heroes playing Hanzo, Bloody Drapes on Sonya, Cody Sparks playing Anduin, Boomer APM on Johanna, and Prostman Pat playing Chromie. And to the right in red, we've got Dragon Gall Z. Helix the Cat playing Deckard, Autumn on Sylvanas, Soul Nova playing Garrosh, Moogle on Vala, and Porthos playing Leoric. As we get into the first wave of the game, we can check in on our level 1 talents. Looks like we've got Simple Geometry for the Hanzo player there. No More Heroes looking to stack up the Scatter Arrow quest. On the other side, Moogle on Vala is working on Fire at Will, the W quest. And Helix the Cat working on the Scroll of Identify quest. So after that is complete, they will reveal targets as well as, oh my gosh, toss in. There's the pull out. Bloody Drapes falls low and falls to one more auto from Moogle. Well played. First blood going over to Dragon Gall Z. Moogle getting a few more stacks there on their level 1. Worth noting, there are lots of vision tools on the side of Habitual Line Steppers. Both the Sonic Arrow from No More Heroes and Chromie's level 1 Time Walker's Pursuit offering vision tools, which is very helpful when playing up against a Garrosh. Soul Nova looking very comfortable on that hero. And getting some of these cheeky plays thanks to their level 1 talent. Titanic Might, I believe? Unrivaled Strength. There you go. We can see Autumn on the right-hand side working on this first Khazra camp with Cody Sparks and Prostman Pat responding in kind. Checking in on top lane briefly, we've got Porthos and Bloody Drapes just trading and clearing minions. It's pretty classic. Jumping back down to bot, we've got Dragon Gall Z already onto their second Khazra camp, this neutral Khazra camp. Of course, Habitual Line Steppers are aware Postman Pat able to get the scout thanks to the level 1 vision reveal, but they are a little too late to stop anyone from capping. So a little bit of a a mercenary experience lead going over to Dragon Gall Z, as well as a hero kill experience lead that's going to give them their level 4s ahead of Habitual Line Steppers, though just barely. Level 4, we can see Indomitable. Ooh, that was challenging for me to say. For Garrosh, Soul Nova able to go unstoppable at the press of a button now. Rejuvenation Potion for Deckard. Looking for a little bit more mana sustain for the rest of the team. Very interesting. And on the other side, Boomer APM has gone for Subdue at level 4. A very big power spike for their CC potential. Bloody Drapes caught on the wrong side of the battleground here. Soul Nova is going to get the stun in. Moogle here to follow up with the damage. And Sonya is not going to make it out of this one alive. A great kill for Dragon Gall Z to get just ahead of this first objective. Sonya is a lot of the shrine clear that Habitual Line Steppers have at their disposal. So getting that kill is going to give Dragon Gall Z a big advantage here on this first objective. It is a frozen Punisher, so that is going to potentially put a lot of pressure onto this top fort, especially with Autumn shutting down the towers on the front wall and the Shaman camp at their back already. So front wall goes down, Moogle eats the spear from Sonya, but is able to vault away. With a hefty lead on the shrine, Porthos is able to clean this up no problem, thanks to their level 4 Neil Peasants, offering them cooldown reduction on shrine monsters. And so even before Habitual Line Steppers can step up and try and grab their first monster, Shrine Defender? Skull? Whatever you want to call it. Dragon Gall Z will secure the first Punisher of the game. This Frozen Punisher is going to really amplify the siege that they can do, shutting down structures along with Sylvanas. Autumn onto the fort with black arrows already. Boomer APM stepping up, trying to zone the rest of Dragon Gall Z as much as they can. Another stun onto the Johanna. They escape before the root catches them, but that is the first fort of the game going over to Dragon Gall Z. A red-hot start for the red team, and I fear that Bloody Drapes is going to be the target here once again. It is a 5-hero collapse onto the Sonya. There's the root from Helix the Cat, and that is another 3 kills unanswered, all on to Bloody Drapes on the Sonya. Habitual Line Steppers are going to have to do a little bit more to protect the Sonya if they're going to... Oh my gosh, Cody Sparks did not expect Soul Nova in that bush. Another great toss from the Garrosh. Despite their vision tools, Habitual Line Steppers are doing a little bit of unsafe rotations. Of course, they're far from out of the game. Experience is not so far out of their favor that they won't reach their heroics before the next objective. They're about a half level down at this point. Of course, with all of these mercenaries going over to Dragon Gall Z, they're getting experience everywhere they possibly can. Moogle and Autumn both very low on mana, so we'll see both of the archers hearth back to the Hall of Storms. Checking in on mid, Bloody Drapes and Porthos once again trying to get as much push and de-push as they can. Level 7s and 10s are all online. At 10, we've got Stay a While and Listen, Mind Control, Decimate, Reign of Vengeance, and Entomb. Boomer APM does still have the Iron Skin available, so they'll get out. There's the Decimate, and Cody Sparks not caught in the root this time. Soul Nova going pretty deep here, but there are no heroics available for Line Steppers yet. No More Heroes taking a lot of damage, does have the vault to get out, but Cody Sparks is not as mobile. Anduin goes down once again. With that said, heroics are online for Habitual Line Steppers now. They've got Dragon's Arrow, Leap, Light Bomb, Blessed Shield, and Slowing Sands for Chromie. Next objective will be spawned in the bottom lane, which is why we can see Dragon Gall Z focusing so heavily on that. Bloody Drapes caught in mid with that Entomb. Soul Nova once again setting up a great kill for their team. Bloody unable to make it out alive there. So just before the objective spawns, they've got another kill on Sonya. We can also see them pinging the Bruiser camp. They're going to have this Shaman pushing in their favor. I don't think Habitual Line Steppers have the time or resources to match that. So they are even talent tier for this fight, but they are down a hero, so we'll see if they're happy to take this fight. Looks like Bloody Drapes is headed up to top lane. Boomer APM tossed in. Entomb just about off cooldown here. And no Iron Skin left available for the Johanna. Looks like Bloody has given ground on that top lane, and they're looking for the fight here. A quick 17 Shrine Defenders going over to Dragon Gall Z. And Habitual Line Steppers have to really step in and claim space here. Boomer APM tossed in. There's the sleep from Deckard. Oh, narrowly missing with that arrow. Caught in the Entomb. Cody Sparks is falling low. A huge clump up from Boomer APM there. Crossman Pat and Cody Sparks both on the bot side of the fight, shelling in. Bloody Drapes going on to Autumn there. Cody Sparks 1v1 with Leoric on the bottom side, and all the while Soul Nova goes down. So a much needed fight win going over to Habitual Line Steppers. They're going to probably secure this next shrine, although they are still trailing. It's going to be a nail biter, a real close one here, 38 to 35. And it looks like the last Skeletal Defender will go over to Habitual Line Steppers. They've fallen very low, and the whole time they've been fighting, 2 catapults and this siege camp have been doing a lot of damage to this top keep. I don't know if Bloody Drapes is going to be able to save it here. Mortar Punisher for bot lane. Soul Nova eats the jump and pops the Unstoppable. Mind Control going on to Boomer APM. They're falling low. There's the Light Bomb follow-up, but they stayed a bit too long under the fort. Another jump onto Soul Nova, and we'll see if the fort ends up going down. No More Heroes and Prostman Pat both feeling threatened by Soul Nova. And with Porthos showing here on the side, they catch 2 with the Entomb. Moogle is in range to pepper in some damage, but Autumn was still working on the Punisher. Cody Sparks tossed back in, and another kill onto Anduin. The front line of Dragon Gall Z doing such a good job to dismantle the front line of Habitual Line Steppers. Soul Nova doing a great job just running in there and grabbing folks as often as they can. Level 13's online for both our teams. We've got Fleet of Foot for No More Heroes. That's going to help them kite away from the Garrosh a lot more. Movement speed granted whenever they hit their Stormbow. We've also got super healing potions for Deckard. Leoric has opted for Ominous Wraith at 13. Soul Nova scouted by both vision tools for Habitual Line Steppers. This is an even talent tier fight, 4v4, but Soul Nova gets a great toss. There's the Mind Control onto No More Heroes. Light Bomb has to miss with No More Heroes vaulting out there. Lots of heroics flying, but a little bit of tricky positioning. That Mind Control drawing no more heroes into the middle of Dragon Gall Z meant that Cody Sparks' Light Bomb ended up leaping away rather than into the fray. Level 16s now available for Dragon Gall Z. We've got Ancient Blessing, Safety in Numbers rather. Bloody Drapes leaps out, Porthos catching none in the Entomb there. A great escape from the Sonya player there. I believe Habitual Line Steppers will have the opportunity to get the equal talent tier fight on this next objective. And they showed in the last objective fight how they can have really good staying power and clear onto the objective. Soul Nova caught with the time trap. An excellent zoning tool by Prostman Pat there. We've got Bloody Drapes far out in lane, and there's the collapse coming in. Moogle far ahead of the rest of their team. I don't know that Bloody is going to make it out of here alive. They're going to try Hearthing in this bush, but Soul Nova and Moogle both on the case. Sonya is going to go down yet again. Big Dragon's Arrow catches 2. Leoric spooks in, perhaps looking for an Entomb. Catches 3 with the Entomb. Prostman Pat, Cody Sparks peeling with the self-light bomb, but Prostman Pat is caught on the wrong side of the fight. The pull is not enough, so Chromie goes down. Porthos looking for more, spooks in yet again. Boomer APM caught with the Drain Life, and Soul Nova is catching up to Cody Sparks. One more auto from Moogle would have done it, but it looks like they're going to back up after securing this top keep. Heading back to the Punisher. It is Arcane, headed towards mid lane. I would actually love to see someone from Habitual Line Steppers perhaps try and split push with these 2 catapults in bot. Dragon Gall Z are not responding, so although they don't have the best siege damage with a Hanzo Chromie comp. Bloody Drapes spears in. Helix the Cat catches the Sonya with the Stay a While. Just to defend. A leap in, catches 2, but Bloody Drapes is deep and alone. Once again, kiting out with the Light Bomb. A bit of a miscommunication there. But Soul Nova's falling low. The super healing potions are doing a lot to keep the Garrosh alive and well, though. 35 Shrine Guardians, and that's going to do it. Porthos all the while with his team buying space, secure the next objective. Soul Nova doing a great job finding these engages on the sides. Prostman Pat also responding well in kind, covering vision on all of those flank angles. Successfully baited over the wall. Habitual Line Steppers are going to get a lot of benefit from their keep in clearing this Punisher. Soul Nova still mounted up here, positioning very aggressively. Root lands onto Bloody Drapes. There's the stun onto 2. Caught in the light Entomb now. Mind Control onto Boomer APM and tossed back. 3, 4 in fact, caught by the sleep, but Johanna makes it out alive. There's still a catapult left. The Dragon's Arrow lands onto the unstoppable Leo, but it looks like the disengage from Dragon Gall Z will be successful. Habitual Line Steppers manage to save their mid-keep here, which is definitely going to help keep the catapult pressure from becoming too arduous for them to deal with. But with their lanes in a tough position, they've got a lot of cleanup to do. It's giving Dragon Gall Z the opportunity to get onto all of these Khazra camps yet again. I wouldn't be surprised to see them step up and contest the left side. And they've got Storm Talents, so they're free to do just that. With Storm Talents, we can see Bottomless Flask, Withering Barrage, Deadly Calm, Farflight Quiver, and Buried Alive. I would love to see Dragon Gall Z step up with the Mercenary Queen and these camps in mid. Try and take advantage of this Storm Talent tier advantage that they've got. Instead, we can see them falling back, dealing with this top camp, as well as capturing one of their own. Habitual Line Steppers doing a great job to take advantage of the space they've been given on the map to collect as much experience as they can towards their Storm Talent tier. Dragon Gall Z in range now to take out this mid keep. Still a level away from an even talent tier fight, so it's the right move for Dragon Gall Z to keep pressing their advantage here. They've got a little bit of a ticking time bomb in their side on top lane. Habitual Line Steppers will have to deal with the camp and catapults accumulating up there in short order. So Dragon Gall Z is trying to split their attention here to bot lane, pushing with black arrows. Still a level away with the next shrine announced in bot lane, and it is another Frozen Punisher. So Habitual Line Steppers may not get the opportunity to even up the talent tier before this objective spawns. It's going to be a very challenging defense for the home team to deal with a Frozen Punisher down Storm Talents. Of course, at level 20, they do get some pretty big power spikes. Johanna able to provide either a lot more lockdown or survivability for her team. Sonya either opting for survivability or extra engage with the Ariat's Crater. There's the Blessed Shield onto Autumn. No More Heroes follows up with the Dragon's Arrow. Porthos comes in looking for two, catches them in the Entomb. Bloody Drapes tossed out to avoid the Light Bomb. Boomer APM gets the Storm Shield onto two, but Sonya has already fallen. No More Heroes looking for kills on the top side, and all the while Dragon Gall Z secure the next objective. Solnoza has chased Corey Sparks to the end of the earth, and Anduin will go down for the Horde and all that jazz. Alright, with 2 dead, I think Dragon Gall Z are going to march to core with this Frozen Punisher. I can't imagine how Habitual Line Steppers will make the defense. It's going to require some real amazing outplays from Postman Pat on the Chromie. Perhaps getting a pick onto a vulnerable hero. No More Heroes alive as well, so both damage up. That is beneficial, but Porthos has the Entomb once again. Misses the Johanna with it. Boomer APM able to escape, but they don't have the Iron Skin any longer. So Porthos and Solnova will chase them off. Autumn and Moogle have all the room they need to keep going on this core, and that'll secure it for game number 1. GG and well played to Dragon Gall Z. That was a tough one to be sure. Not the sort of outcome one would hope for Habitual Line Steppers. We can check in on our stats and builds here. Solnova going for Deadly Calm at level 20, paired with all of the Blood Craze talents at 7, 13, and 16, giving them all sorts of survivability up against the likes of Hanzo and Chromie. The damage reduction and healing throughput of the build kind of outmatched for Garrosh. We can see that Moogle did a great job stacking up their Fire at Will quest at level 1 and opting in the later stages to go for Manticore and Farflight Quiver. I think of those talents as must-picks for Vala. I know that some like Acrobat at level 20 when going Q build, but being able to outrange every hero in the game almost is pretty strong. And we, of course, saw Porthos hitting some huge Entombs, especially after 20 with the Buried Alive. So that's going to do it for game 1. We'll update our scorecard here and head over to the map selection. Oh, sure, yeah, we'll go with that. Alrighty. So that'll do it for game 1. Let's see where we're headed for game 2 of the series. I would love to see Habitual Line Steppers on a map that isn't as vulnerable to the rotations as Infernal Shrines. Soul Nova and Moogle both did a great job to target Bloody Drapes on the Sonya as much as possible in the early going of those objectives, making sure that Habitual Line Stepper's best Shrine Clear was unavailable for the objective. And it looks like we are headed to Towers of Doom for game 2. Excellent. We can update all this here. So there are still plenty of opportunities for rotations onto the offlaner in mid. We'll see if Habitual Line Steppers approached the draft differently, making sure that Soul Nova does not get that Garrosh pick once again, as they showed a great deal of prowess on it in game 1. Okay, let's get into game 2 here. And introduce our 2 teams. No More Heroes playing Sylvanas, Cody Sparks on Rhaegar, Boomer APM on Muradin, Postman Pat on Chromie, and Bloody Drapes playing Samuro. They are Habitual Line Steppers. And to the right in red, we've got Helix the Cat on Anduin, Soul Nova on Garrosh once again, Autumn with Jaina, Porthos getting Leoric, and Moogle on Tychus, Dragon Gall Z. So the Garrosh did get through draft once again. I think Bloody Drapes should have an easier go of staying alive with a hero as slippery as Samuro. So they have adapted in draft here, but the same front line available to Dragon Gall Z. They looked very comfortable and confident on it in game 1. We'll see how Habitual Line Steppers adjust their performance here for game 2. An early cleanse from Cody Sparks. There's the root follow-up onto Boomer APM, but they leap out. The slows will be enough. Moogle unable to find the connection with their grenade, opting for press the advantage at level 1 rather than quarterback. So they've got extra auto attack range, but not extra toss range. Up on the top side, Porthos gets a 1v1. Surprising. Not something I'd expect to see out of Samuro offlane. So No More Heroes immediately heads up to mid to pick up the experience there. Of course, this will slow down Habitual Line Steppers as they look to capture this first camp. Soul Nova already threatening on the aggressive side of the battleground here. Looks like Dragon Gall Z are showing in bot lane, however, so Habitual Line Steppers know that they are perfectly comfortable to grab this first camp. Boomer APM scouted by Soul Nova and tossed back in. They're doing a great job holding on to their Dwarf Toss, so they're going to make it out alive once again. Level 4 is now online for Dragon Gall Z. We've got the Chastise quest, Piercing Light for Helix the Cat, as well as In the Rhythm for Tychus, looking to extend their minigun duration as much as possible. all 3 sappers go in for Dragon Gall Z. Habitual line steppers doing a great job to continue playing out of vision, looking for Soul Nova whenever possible. Boomer APM leaps out. They do not have the Stormbolt, however. Cody Sparks bites in onto Helix the Cat, a little supportal combat, if you will. And this is where Postman Pat's Chromie is going to come in very handy. They've got a lot of long-range poke. They'll be able to stall this objective capture for a long time. Soul Nova pops the Indomitable and gets the toss in onto Boomer APM. A little bit of split focus, however, will get the Muradin out alive. On the top side, both offlaners doing the handshake trade over the objective, but it looks like we've got Porthos ahead of Bloody Drapes to this fight. So here comes the Leoric in on the side, getting the slow onto Boomer APM, and that's enough to zone the rest of Habitual line steppers off, giving Dragon Gall Z the capture for the neutral objective. They're also pretty far in the lead towards their level 7 talents. We can see that's thanks to both their hero kill experience and the minion experience deficit that Habitual line steppers are facing. Worth noting that Postman Pat on Chromie has already unlocked their 3rd talent tier thanks to the trait that Chromie has, giving her talents 2 levels early. No more heroes. Positioned pretty aggressively here in mid, but Dragon Gall Z are more concerned with the camp rather than pressuring Sylvanas. Level 7s on both sides now. We've got heavy impact for Boomer APM. Surprising pickup given how much they are using their Dwarf Toss to disengage. We've also got Ice Flows from Jaina. Autumn getting a lot of CDR on that E. Autumn tossed out by Soul Nova, doing a great job with the into the fray. Another cleanse from Helix the Cat will get the 5-hero commitment from Habitual line steppers to be mostly for naught. Boomer APM tossed in again. No mana for the Dwarf Toss. So Soul Nova catching another kill right as the objective spawns here in bot lane. No more heroes in position to stall, but they're going to meet all of the burst damage from Jaina. Dragon Gall Z do a great job zoning off both shrines. Postman Pat caught by another toss, and Moogle looking for more here. No heroics yet for Dragon Gall Z, so Porthos isn't threatening with the Entomb just yet. But those heroics are just around the corner for Dragon Gall Z. These next 2 waves in mid and bot are likely to get the next talent tier locked in for Dragon Gall Z, and there you have it. Much the same for Soul Nova, going for Decimate once again. We've got Entomb. Another toss in onto Boomer APM. Alright, Soul Nova has to back up using the Indomitable. We've also got Water Elemental and Commandeer Odin and Light Bomb. So, still about a half level away from their heroics. Habitual line steppers would love to weather this storm just a little bit longer. Soul Nova has yet to be scouted here and gets the toss in onto Cody Sparks. Burst damage from Jaina will seal the kill. Soul Nova gets another slow with the Decimate. They're chasing with Moogle. The minigun damage will be enough. There's the time loop on to Soul Nova, but they get out without too much trouble. Helix the Cat also available for healing and a cleanse if need be. With bottom fort already at half HP, Moogle pops the Odin and will finish off this fort right before the next objective spawns. We've got 2 shrines spawning here in the top side. We'll see if Dragon Gall Z want to get aggressive and look at the left-hand side. Looks like they are happy to give the trade, instead opting for their bottom siege camp once again. Another round of sappers, which will now pressure the core HP of Habitual Line Steppers. Habitual Line Steppers looking for an engage onto Soul Nova, who was scouted with... Oh, there's a great Light Bomb, catches two. Boomer APM falling low here. Moogle laying into them with the minigun. They aren't going to make it out alive. Soul Nova had been scouted with the time trap from Postman Pat, but the mounted Garrosh was quick enough to get away from the mind control of Sylvanas. Cody Sparks uses the Ancestral Healing, but it won't be enough to get them out alive. Soul Nova continuing to rip apart Habitual Line Steppers as they march these sappers into core. That'll bring the core HP down to 17 for Habitual Line Steppers. They are down a talent here as well. At level 13, we've got Autumn opting for Icy Veins on Jaina. That, coupled with Ice Flows at level 7, means that they'll be able to rapid fire a lot of their Cone of Colds with the CDR that both talents bring. Next objective announced here in bot lane. Dragon Gall Z are going to try their best to get the next 3 sappers in, and they will all go in. So 13 core HP to 33, a pretty sizable lead for Dragon Gall Z, and No More Heroes is fishing as much as they can with the mind control. Dark Lady's Call is the level 20, which I can respect. I think if they're able to get a pick here, that is their best case scenario. Bloody Drapes is in range to get a little bit of stall here. Moogle will turn around with the minigun, and Bloody Drapes goes down. Soul Nova looped on the other side, but gets out. The Entomb finds 3. Porthos making a huge flank here. No More Heroes will make it out with sub 100 HP. Cody Sparks, not as lucky, goes down once again after the Self-Ancestral. Boomer APM will escape with a great Stormbolt to cover their retreat. So another fight win and another level in their belt. Dragon Gall Z are absolutely dominating this second battleground as well. 8 core HP to 33. With one more channel, Dragon Gall Z will be able to threaten the lethal boss play. Tychus caught in the loop as well as the mind control, but Helix the Cat is able to heal through it. An even talent tier fight was in Habitual Line Stepper's best interest. Not surprised to see them catch it. Speaking of catching, Helix the Cat always ready with the root follow-up on Soul Nova's engages. Porthos starting up the boss pretty early here. They're happy to get the free 4 core HP, while Soul Nova tosses one of the sappers in with Into the Fray. So with 7 core HP, I'm sorry, with 3 core HP, I believe this is the lethal play for Dragon Gall Z. They can have a hero set up on all 3 of these objective spawns, and I don't know that Habitual Line Steppers will be able to make the defense on all 3. They've committed all 5 heroes to the bot lane here. They're looking for Soul Nova and Autumn, but on the top side, we've got Moogle, Helix, and Porthos channeling. Looks like Helix is the one to fire the final shots, and that will do it for Game 2 of our series. Dragon Gall Z take it 2-0. GG and well played to them. All right, so a pretty strong 2-0. Bloody Drapes caught early there by Porthos, and it really put them behind on the experience front. We can see that here in the stats, 1,300 to 1,900. The Samuro was never able to kind of scale up and come online as I think Habitual Line Steppers were hoping for. Checking in on the builds once again. As mentioned, Autumn opting for Ice Flows and Icy Veins at 7 and 13, coupled with Arcane Intellect and Fingers of Frost at 4 and 1 respectively. That is a lot of burst damage. Arcane Intellect offering bonus spell power, and Fingers of Frost offering additional chill damage. So between the amplified spell power and the chill damage and the CDR, Autumn was able to really apply a lot of pressure to the front line of Habitual Line Steppers. Cody Sparks did their best on the Rhaegar, but unfortunately they were a little too far forward in a couple of these engagements, requiring the Ancestral for themselves. And I've got to shout out Helix the Cat once again. A great deal of healing out of the Anduin, and lots of really critical crowd control follow-up. Solnova getting lots of great tosses, and Helix the Cat was always there to follow up with the Chastise from Anduin. So a very clean first 2 games, and only 2 games, of our best of 3 there. So we'll update the scorecard. If a friendly rivalry does in fact exist between No More Heroes and their former teammates of Dragon Gall Z, I'm sure they're going to look for another opportunity to face off against them, either in the second of their double round robin play days or in the postseason. Not sure how the standings are for the division at current, but it was a absolutely commanding showing from Dragon Gall Z, really picking on the off lane for Game 1 and leaning heavily on some excellent Garrosh play from Solnova. The damage follow-up from Dragon Gall Z, it almost looked like it didn't really matter what they picked, because they were so concentrated on those Wrecking Ball throws from Solnova, so they were always in range to follow up that Garrosh play. It definitely looks like a strong suit of theirs. So that's going to do it for this series. And I think that'll do it for the day. Before I sign off, I want to give a quick shout out to the artists, programmers, and musicians whose work I use as part of the stream. It wouldn't look anywhere near as good or sound anywhere near as good without all of their contributions, and I've got links to all of their information below the video, as well as coming up here with a brief credit roll. So please go check them out. They're all excellent folks. Until next time, good luck, have fun, peace and love.